Welcome to Provitalks, where nature and science blend to inspire you. Discover the latest in technology, sustainability, and trends in the cosmetics world, thanks to Provital. Let's care together for our industry's commitment to the people and the planet. Provital. Do care.
Welcome back to Provitalks. Today, we are going to talk about some specific strategic solutions in business sustainability, a topic that we already introduced in our previous edition here at Provitalks. To speak from the perspective of our industry, we once again have our sustainability and environmental expert here at Provital, David de los Santos. So, David, welcome back and thanks again for your time.
I'm glad to be here again, Clara.
Now that we have an idea of the strategy to follow to achieve the sustainability that our consumers crave for, we would like to squeeze your knowledge a bit more and go a bit farther. Because consumers who buy green beauty products want to prove that their purchasing options are better for the environment, which is causing a growing demand for more quantifiable proof. How can companies in the cosmetic sector currently respond to that demanded quantification? And how do you think they will be able to quantify it in the future?
Well, from my point of view, we can work on different concepts. We can talk about water. We can improve the production process, standardizing the cleaning process, introducing cleaning process, or increasing the bite size. We can reuse water from the wastewater treatment. We can control and check water consumption in order to see if we have any waste, or we can try to calculate the water footprint in the product according to the product life cycle analysis. We can talk about carbon footprint, setting up the calculation process, defining the scope, the first, second, or third, reducing and minimize the carbon footprint, talk about compensation projects, or includes negative compensations. We can try to calculate, as in case of water, the carbon footprint of the product according to the product life cycle analysis too. We can talk about waste, improving the management, looking for ways to maximize value, talking about compost, reuse, subproducts, or include avoiding sending to the landfill. We can try to searching for the most suitable suppliers to help us find solutions, or minimizing the generation of waste if possible, talking about, for example, of reuse. We can talk about circularity. Sometimes to manage waste, to have to look for partners or synergies with companies that have the same problems. It's an easy way to try to improve. Or we can talk about zero waste, aiming for maximum segregation to maximize recovery, avoiding landfill. Another topic could be life cycle analysis. We can implement the analysis of the product life cycle to detect the most relevant impact and the aspects that we can control. Even length of the supply chain, traceability, consumption of water, and carbon dioxide. At least it's important to talk about resource and other materials. Another aspect to talk about it is the packaging and eco-design. We can try to minimize the packaging or eliminate it. Minimize or substitute the use of plastic. Talk about formula and composition of the product and think about sustainability from the beginning, talking about eco-design. It's important to talk about traceability, transparency, and knowing where the ingredients came from are becoming more and more important each day. This concept is gaining traction, but is not always easy to manage. It's not always easy to obtain this information in the supply chain to ensure not only the quality, but also the ethics and sustainability in the whole supply chain. In other sectors, there is already the blockchain. In our sector, it would be great to have it, but from my point of view, it's still far from a real-time implementation of all the information of the supply chain. But it's clear that it's the direction in which we are going. Most sustainable suppliers and partners aligned with sustainability values are the ones that are gaining more relevance in the market.
You mentioned quite a few times the importance of creating these good synergies with suppliers. So What should companies look for in an environmentally friendly supplier for their cosmetic ingredients? What ways do companies have to achieve the maximum traceability of their products?
Well, projects that work directly with farmers and communities are becoming more and more relevant. It's not an easy process. It requires patience, understanding, and collaboration between two worlds, in many cases totally opposite. Companies are moving very fast, where many things are done on demand, in a world that has its time, its circumstance, and its weather. But this allows us not only to obtain products with a total traceability and transparency, we can also work on the social and ethical aspects too, helping the development and subsistence of communities. In addition, these actions contribute to the generations and subsistence of the specific biodiversity in each place of actions. It's important to be aware of the lack of resource and the importance of the concept of circular economy and industrial symbiosis. We should search for existing and used resources as new source of raw materials that would allow us to create new products. It's also important to minimize unnecessary resource and reduce packaging, always taking into account the regulations and the quality of the product.
Well, thank you, David, so much for sharing with us this information, as well as your professional and even your personal opinion. We greatly appreciate your time. We hope to have provided valuable information for our listeners with these 2 Provitalks, dedicated exclusively to the construction of a sustainable strategy in accordance with the demands of the cosmetic sector that we also talked about. Thank you all very much for listening, and see you on our next Provitalk.
Thank you for listening to this edition of Provitalks. We hope you got some source of inspiration to create and spread your own kind of beauty. For further information, subscribe to our podcast or visit our website at weareprovital.com. Provital. Do care.